Thanks again for taking the time to join us on today's webinar. As a reminder, this webinar will be recorded and posted to our website to view later or to share with others. If you have questions, please type them into the Q&A panel and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. So now let's discuss today's agenda. Since Cintoo is a cloud offering, new features and functions are introduced into our platform on a constant basis. The key purpose of this webinar is to showcase some of the more important updates that we have added to our platform for the first half of the year. These include updates to the measurement tool, 3D coordinates pick tool, ortho view and 3D view, BIM 360 partner card integration, and BIMTrack integration. Then Dominique will discuss the new Leica RTC 360 support, new users and permissions functionality, labels and annotations in the search tool, and Unified Mesh Beta 2. After that, Dominique will also update us on what we can look forward to in the next half of this year. We'll then end with a Q&A session from questions that have been put into the Q&A panel. So now, let's move on with the live demonstration. So here we are in our Oakland train station project. To demonstrate the new measurement tool, I'm going to go to a new location. It's best if you turn on your surface mode to make sure you're getting a good representation of where you want to select your measurement points. And if I go to my measurement tool, I can now set my precision. So I just want to go to the hundredths of a foot, and I'm going to create a new measurement. So you'll notice now that we have a disk, so it shows you what plane you're on. So I'm going to go measure the width of this door. And you'll notice that we get the length, the height, the width, and we also get the angle. So I'm going to save this measurement. And let's say I want to take another measurement. I want to maybe get a diagonal across here. So I'm going to go click there, go up here to the top, and you notice I'm on that surface. And I'm going to save that measurement. But you will also notice that you get the angle that you've registered across here. So that is our new measurement tool. So picking up where we left off, we now have the ability to pick a 3D coordinate and copy and paste that to another application. So basically all I do is take my cursor, click a spot down there. You'll notice that we get the XYZ location. I can hit this copy button. Then I could go paste this into a program like Excel. Let's say if I want to go pick another spot, maybe I want to make it a little bit better. I can copy, and I can go paste that into Excel. And we can just do one more just to show you how this works. So pick one more spot here, and we're going to copy and paste it into Excel. Also, we could paste this into something like WordPad. So once again, very simple, easy to do. Also, if you need to turn this off, you'll notice sometimes you move around. If you click and hold it on a spot, it will remain there. Just go hit the X button down here and it'll remove it. So very simple, easy to use tool, and we hope that you find it useful. Also, due to high customer demand, we have included the possibility to now select either a perspective camera or an orthographic camera in the 3D view. In addition, you can also select any predefined viewing angles such as top, bottom, front, left, right, or back. Earlier this year, Cintoo released their partner card for BIM 360. This will allow users to view their Cintoo project inside of BIM 360 through the Project Home interface. This will enable all users in the BIM 360 project to view their scanned data in an immersive way and enhances the collaborative project experience. So let's walk through on how to get this started. First, I will go into a Cintoo project into a location where I want to share my scan visualization. All I need to do is click on the share button and I can toggle on and off these different parameters that allow us to share different things such as notes, crops, work zones, etc. Once I'm happy with that, I will then create a generate sharing URL. I will copy this, and then I'm going back into BIM 360 underneath Project Home. Here I will go into the Customize button, and I will go to our card library and select Cintoo, and I will add that card. Now all I need to do is adjust the settings, so I go to Configure, and I paste the URL I copied over from Cintoo and hit Save. Now you'll see the same exact view that we had earlier, and I can just move this card to where I want inside of my Project Home, and that's it. This will allow me to go in and view my scan information inside of BIM 360. I can also expand it after I save so that I can then have an expanded view of my data. And I also have the option to click on this little Cintoo logo down here, which will take me into the project full screen inside of the application. In addition to exporting issues in BCF, we now offer the ability to integrate Cintoo Cloud with BIMTrack, a leading issue tracking platform. Issues created in Cintoo Cloud by comparing as-built scan data to BIM models, for example, can be pushed or synced with BIMTrack. The goal is to make sure that you take the best of your laser scans in your QA/QC process when you need to compare your as-built to your design, and then make sure that those issues are part of the whole BIM coordination process. Please make sure to read the complete dedicated section in our online documentation. We also have run a 50-minute webinar on this very topic, and you can watch from our website in the Learn/Webinar section. So now I'd like to turn it over to our CEO, Dominique Pouliken, to discuss some of the other new features we have added in the first half of 2020.
Thanks, Rob, for this introduction. My name is Dominique Pouliken, in charge of product management and business development for Cintoo. We have done a big software development effort to fully support the Leica RTC 360 in order to avoid this kind of stuff which we had in the past. So this is what you got in the past when you have you didn't get the full benefit of the full res pictures from the RTC 360. So no sky, some dark edges, something like that. So this is what you had before, and this is what you have now with the exact same data set, but imported with a more recent version of Cintoo Connect. So of course you have the full benefit of having the high-res picture, including the sky, no more dark edges, and of course this device is a very good device, so you have a very good 3D data with that. So when you look at the 3D surface you get from it is really amazing. Full support of RTC 360 is really a major breakthrough. And as you can see on this beautiful Volterra project from the Volterra Foundation. So as you can see here, the quality of the mesh is really fantastic. Make sure you read the documentation that you can access from this small button here, Cintoo Cloud User Guide. And you have a dedicated section on the support of Leica RTC 360. And that will give you a few tips and tricks when setting the resolution, when you do the registration for your RTC 360. Make sure you set the resolution to the highest possible resolution. And also, so both in Cyclone or Register 360. And also when you export E57 files from Leica Cyclone, for example, you need to make sure that you export with cubical images as well. So a few hints to apply, nothing major, but make sure you read this documentation before you import your RTC 360 data in the E57 format in Cintoo Cloud, and even before you register your RTC 360 data in Cyclone or Register 360. You can now access users and permissions from the top bar, and that will give you access to your directory of users, groups, roles, and permissions. So this will be only accessible if you're a project manager, an admin, or a co-admin. Okay, so you need to be either a project manager, admin, or co-admin to be able to add users to your directory, or to create groups or users, or to add custom roles with given permissions. Okay, so what's new here is the groups. Groups of users, you can create a new group, give it a name. Let me call it group test 3. Okay, and then in this group you can add users, as many as you want, either by picking up in your directory or by listing emails that could come from a CSV file, for example. Okay, so adding a few guys like my colleagues here and myself. I then create a new group. You can still at this point add more users, delete users, etc. You can edit your groups as well. Like this is a former group I created initially. And if you can delete groups, of course, but if you delete group and if the group has been invited, the software will tell you, okay, are you sure you want to delete? Because this group is a member of this project. Okay, so be careful when deleting groups. Because this group will then be deleted from this project as well. The group is a living entity, so if you add users, after a group has been invited to a project, if you add a new person in this group, or if you delete someone from the group, they will be also deleted or added to the same project. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you to you today. Another feature we have added lately is a possibility to enrich your annotations with as many labels as you want, which will be used then to sort those annotations. Let me show you this. So you go to the Annotation tab. Usually I go to the surface mode to find my best 3D point to pick. So when I create an annotation now, okay, this could be a note or a private note or an issue. Let's say it's a note. I give it, say, to be removed from site. And I will add a label here. I call it garbage. Okay. Or I can add another label, which is brick. Okay. So I then create the annotation with these two labels. So I have a list of annotations here. Now, if I look for the annotation that has this garbage label, I will find this annotation I just created. Or the same with brick. Or if I add a 2 in my filter, I will also find the same one, of course. If I'm looking for other label like fire or safety or exit, okay, I have more annotations here. And when I click on them, of course, I will be brought to this exact annotation here. You can also use those labels in the report tab. Okay, where you see all labels, either you select them all or you select none, and then you go for whatever annotation you want to pick up, okay, you want to select. And then you can see it's a very easy way to sort your annotations from your, could be a very long list of annotations. And then of course, whatever has been selected here from your labels, even you can also select from the users or the activities. You can then export this as a PDF. On creating this PDF is straightforward. You just open the PDF then, And this is a clickable PDF, okay? So this is a PDF I just created, but now I can click on this each one of those annotations, and I have a direct link then from the PDF to the Cintoo Cloud 3D view, where I can see this annotation in the context of the scans. Okay, so please use it as much as you want and give us your feedback. Another interesting move for us is on the unified mesh creation. As you all know, we can create a single mesh from the multiple meshes coming from the scans and create these unified meshes. Up to 100 scans can be selected in this unified mesh. And the way it works is that you create a crop, like in this case here. So we create a crop by using the crop tool, of course. And then you save it. And then once you are in the crop tool, you have two ways to export this data. Either you export it using Cintoo Connect, and that will recreate a point cloud in a RCP, RCS, or E57 format. So we'll do this mesh to point cloud transformation, or you generate a single mesh using this unification process. So the way it works is that you just select the name, the mesh density, and the resolution. Let's say going for a 5mm mesh here, so 1 point every 5mm, or 0.2 inches, and then you can select the file format. Okay, let's go for FBX, and when you click Create here, the unification process will happen in the cloud, and you will be notified when the mesh is ready, and then you can download it from your data tab. Okay, just select your mesh and say download. So this is what I already did. So to show you here now, I'm using using Navisworks as a viewer. This is what we have done lately is that we've improved the mesh quality by removing a few holes, removing a few spikes. This is what you used to have from this unification process. This is an FBX file that I just imported in Navisworks. Okay, and if I look at the same mesh now, so this is the old version of it. Now looking at the new version of it, you may not notice a big differences, but I can tell you there are a few. This mesh quality is much better now. Okay, so give it a try. It's still a beta, but it works pretty well. A few of our customers are really happy with it. And yeah, please take a look and give us your feedback. So, as promised, here is a glimpse at what's coming in the next few weeks from the team at Cintoo. So, we're working on a few stuff. The first one is to improve our scan mode navigation, make the user experience more friendly for non-experts, adding more information in the annotation, also making the transition from the 2D panoramic mode to the 3D navigation mode a little easier. Some people are kind of lost somewhere with those transitions. Next big one will be to add a navigation map to the scan navigation mode. Okay, so you will be able to have an orthographic top view of your site with all the scan locations, and then be able to click on any scan and be able to see which scan also you are currently viewing. So navigation map is really a big one coming very soon. Along the same lines, we want to filter the sprites or the icons that are in the field of view in scan mode. This has been a long request from many users. So what we add to this for this is that we enrich this display option that you have already. So you can already set on off the display of various icons like the scan icons or notes, etc., measurements. And we're adding some filtering methodology here. So either on occlusion filtering, so if the scan icon is behind some 3D geometry, it will be occluded by this geometry, or range filtering, so selecting the distance at which you want to see the next scan icons. So default value will be 15 meters, so it's about 50 feet, but you can set the distance by yourself in meters or feet. This is coming very soon, hopefully in the next few days. Another big feature for Cintoo Cloud, as you know, is issue tracking for BIM coordination. When you compare scans to BIM or scan to scan, you can visually detect issues and then document those issues. So what you have already in Cintoo Cloud is the possibility to export those issues as BCF files or BIM collaboration format files that you can directly import them into Revit or Navisworks. And those issues will then appear at the exact right location. As Rob mentioned earlier, we have been working on this cloud-to-cloud connectivity with BIMTrack, one of the leading platforms for BIM coordination as well. And this is about pushing issues from Cintoo Cloud to BIMTrack, but also syncing issues between the two platforms, like updates on comments on etc. And what is next is the possibility to push issues from Cintoo Cloud to BIM 360. Okay, so we're working on that currently. That still a few months or a few weeks away, but coming. And also after BIM 360, we will be dealing with Procore as a platform as well. So these are the new stuff that we're working on currently, plus other big stuff, but we will have other webinars to discuss about other stuff like AI, VR, and such other big project like that.
Thanks, Dominique. So now I think we'd like to go to Q&A. So we had a couple questions come in, so I'm going to read out the question. And Dominique, if you could answer them, that would be great. So first question we got was which format can I upload into Cintoo Cloud? And does Cintoo Cloud support unstructured data?
Okay. For the first question, you can. There are two ways to upload BIM models to the platform, and I guess the question relates to this one. So, if you upload from the disk, that will be on IFC. If you upload via BIM 360, then we can you can select a Revit file, r.rvt, Navisworks files, could be a NWD or NWC. And also 3D DWGs. And we're adding 2D DWG as we speak, but also and also IFCs, of course, from BIM 360.
Great.
Related to the question about unstructured data, this has been a long expected feature from many users as well. So good news is that, yes, we're working on it. Mostly targeting mobile indoor LiDAR. That do provide a good density of points with a good accuracy. And so my guess is that before the end of the year, you'll be able to import your Unstructure E57 that has been generated by a handheld device or a backpack.
Gotcha. Thank you. Next question is how many users can I invite to Cintoo Cloud?
This is a platform with unlimited users on unlimited projects, as long as you keep the scan capacity that you have been subscribing to. You can spread this scanned capacity over as many projects as you want, and then you can invite as many users as you want.
Okay. The next question, can I add all of my company's BIM managers into a group and then invite them to multiple projects?
Yes, absolutely. The goal of those groups is really to make the invitations to projects much easier. So groups can be created by either project managers, admins, or co-admins. Now, all project managers can see all other groups created by other project managers, so easy to manage and sync. And then you can create a group called BIM managers, invite all your BIM managers in it. And then when you invite this group to a project, all your BIM managers will be then invited to this project and can be invited to all projects. It's up to you.
Okay, here's another question for you. How long does it take to create a unified mesh?
Yeah, this is another good question. It really depends on the size of the mesh. So if you select a small crop like that will be an area of interest that will be visible, let's say, from 5 or 10 scans on a density that will be, let's say, less than an inch, I guess you can get the result in less than half an hour. Now, if you select a bigger crop, like a section of your building, or that includes many more scans, like up to 100, that could take a few hours. Okay, so this is using cloud computing, and so you are notified by email when the 3D model is ready in your data tab.
Okay. And this kind of relates to that, but once you create a crop of an area and you export out either a point cloud or a mesh, are they properly geolocated?
Oh yes, absolutely. So everything we do is within the coordinate system of the scans. So if you select a small crop, you export that back as a RCP, RCS, or E57, and you import this one into, let's say, Navisworks, they will appear at the exact location in your model. All the same for the meshes, being in OBJ or SBX, they are all geolocated, yes.
Okay. Another question. So you kind of talked briefly about the new navigation map that we're developing. Will you be able to import a PDF for the navigation map?
Yes, absolutely. Maybe not in version 1, but this is, of course, the goal, is to be able to create an orthographic view of the site, either from the crops that we do create into in the platform, or by importing a PDF, or by importing a 2D DWG. So these two latest options will probably come a little later, but this is in the roadmap, yes.
Okay, so here's another one. So currently I get my scan data in a PTX format. Does Cintoo support that? And if not, what formats do you support?
We don't support natively PTX, so what I would recommend to do is use Recap to turn it into a RCP file. So we support RCP, structure RCP, structure FLS from Pharocene or LSproj, and also, of course, structure E57.
Yeah, I think we have one more here, and it's around the measurement tool. Do you have any plan to increase the measurement tool options so you could pull out information like a pipe size, like a pipe diameter?
Yeah, absolutely. This is not in the roadmap for the next few weeks, but we have big plans for improving everything around measurements, like the pipe diameters, surfaces, volumes. So yeah, you can trust that we will be adding all those features in the months to come.
And then this is our last question. Can I create a specific permission level for a user or group of users? Or will I
Yes.
need to use only what is provided?
No, absolutely. You can, if you are a project manager, admin, or co-admin, so you have access to these users and permissions, you can go into the roles and create a custom role, okay, selecting the permission you want. for this particular group. And many people do that. So they create, for example, a surveyor type of role that will be only able to upload data, or a viewer only type of role. So there are many, as long as you use the permissions that are listed, you can create any custom role. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that's about it, and that's good timing because we're out of time. But once again, I would like to thank everybody for attending this webinar. As we mentioned at the beginning, this will be posted to our YouTube site, so feel free to share with others within your organization or go back and review. With that, I will end this webinar and just want to thank everyone again for attending.
Thank you.
Thanks.